Welcome to the Love Pod, where inspiration, vision, and real connection come alive. Wherever you are, you belong here. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Love Pod. I'm Julia, and I'm really excited about today's episode. We're welcoming first time ever family, my sister-in-law, Maria Fernanda, all the way from Mexico. And, I had the pleasure of meeting her for the first time back in 2021 when Nathaniel and I traveled to Mexico after visiting Costa Rica. And we had the pleasure to stay in the town where her and my brother are now living, Troncones. And we got to know her beautiful community there, which I'm sure she'll talk more about today. And we were even invited by her family to spend Christmas that year up in the mountains in Tapalpa, which was a beautiful, beautiful experience. It will stay in my heart forever. Even though I got sick, I think like the day after Christmas, Maria and her family took really good care of me. And they're just her sisters are crazy. They're full of love, full of fun. Her parents are so sweet. And, we really got to know everybody and the culture, the Mexican culture and traditions that they share. And, with her and my brother, we also did some traveling in Mexico to Pátzcuaro and Guanajuato. And even in the city of Guadalajara, we stayed, which is where she is originally from. And she is such a loving, loving soul with a big heart. And my brother is so lucky to have her. And I wanted to invite her on the show today because I feel like she has so much wisdom and knowledge to share with the things that she is passionate about. And so, it's such a pleasure to have her here. She's going to share more about what she does and the yoga that she teaches. And she also has her own studio that she opened up, I think, back in 2024, Bhavana. And she also shares, passion for tarot reading and her creative work through the Surf Witch project and all that while doing graphic design as well. So it's such a pleasure to have you, Marifer. Welcome to the Love Pod.
Hola, Julia. How are you? I'm glad to be here and open to see what this conversation takes us to.
Yeah, so am I. Is this your first podcast, Marifer, or have you done other ones?
Well, I'm normally behind the scenes of podcasts because for my work, I work with this big organization that promotes yoga in Mexico, and I'm normally the one in the back end of the planning and production of other podcasts, but I'm not, sometimes they put me in just for if something happened, but it was normally there is other guests, and I'm normally in the production behind the podcast. So it's the first time that I'm a guest. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. I'm excited. And so you were talking about the Encuentro, like the work you do with them?
Yeah, well, it's an organization that promotes yoga in Mexico in general. And we have an annual event that the name is El Encuentro Nacional de Yoga. That is like like a big yoga conference that brings teachers from all over the world and different types of styles, so people can really experience and experiment with different styles or different approaches to the practice, different type of learnings, and so it's very rich. So I've been working for a long time now.
That's really cool because I bet you get to meet people from all over the world and to travel to these different places too, that you get to do this work where so many people are bringing their passion and love for yoga. And so before we even jump into that, I want to ask you to share maybe a little bit about yourself and how you first found this love for and passion for yoga.
Well, I grew up as a Catholic Mexican person, and I always was in like Catholic school and stuff like that. So I think that since that start, like the spirituality in a way, like it's part of my life or always has been part of my life. But I didn't knew anything about like this type of philosophies until I entered in the master degrees and in one of the classes that was, I think that it was neuroscience. And one of the teachers bring up the Buddhist and the philosophy of Buddhism. So that was the first time that I really hear something about that. And it really resonated with me. I remember just one sentence that he said that it I don't know, it's something moving my heart about these philosophies or this understanding that it was like, maybe I belong more to that type of way of thinking.
Do you
And I
remember the sentence?
he say that they live by one simple thing is when I eat, when I sleep.
Ah,
In the sense of presence. And I think that was like, it sounds a little bit simple, but it's very profound. At least it was very profound for me. And after, it was during that year that I meet for the first time the yoga practice. I didn't look for the yoga practice itself as a way of something. I was going for a Latin dance class or something like that, Zumba class or something like that. And it was in this public park in close to the house of my parents. And the class after was yoga.
Okay.
It cost 13 pesos. It's like
Wow. It's
$1.
cheap. Very cheap.
Mm-hmm. And one day I say, I'm going to stay. And I stay and I fell in love. So I become addicted to it. So I was going every day for many years. That was part of my practice.
Okay. How long ago was that?
I think I started practicing around 2007 or 8, around those. I'm not sure exactly which year, but it was right after I graduate from university and I entered in the master degrees right like 2 or 3 months after. And it was like parallel with the master degrees and yoga and all of that came all at the same time.
So you said you weren't looking for it, but it found you. Do you feel like it found you at a perfect time in your life? Like, why did it fulfill you? Like, how did it help you in your life?
I think that at that moment I was young and I was like opening my mind and my understanding to new worlds, not only in the spiritual part, it was also in the intellectual part. And in the master degrees, they open a huge door for me to understanding other things that I never knew about it, like psychoanalysis. I start the tarot because of that, Buddhism, neuroscience, many of those things. It was like one of the best experience of my life to enter in that master degree. And I think that prepared me to enter into yoga with a different mindset. So it was very, I think that everything worked in the perfect time or with the perfect synchronicity, to say in one way or yeah.
Was there anything that you found challenging about the practice when you first started it?
I can see what it was challenging now.
Yeah.
At the moment I just surrender and I try to do the practice and all of those things. Like I tend to go deep on things. Like I don't like to go superficial on things or practices. So I go very deep into them. And I know now that maybe I was not ready to receive a lot of the information that I received at that moment. And that maybe I misinterpreted many things of the practice. And now after so many years practicing and experiencing having other experiences with the practice, now I understand that many things that I thought that I knew, I didn't. I was just misunderstanding many things. And I was like, I don't know, it was sometimes, it was misinterpretation of the things, to be very purist about the practice itself or the philosophy itself. That now I see, if I see myself back, I'm saying like, oh my God, I was unbearable for many of the people that was around me, because I take it so seriously and so deep that I was very immature at that time. And now I can see it. But at that time, I didn't see it. So it's different, but this is like it's more watching back that I can see this, but not in the moment. In the moment, I was in the full bliss of the practice and just following everything and blah, blah, blah. But the learnings came or have came over the time and little by little.
Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, like experiences in their life when you're in it, you don't really realize or understand everything, even if you think you do. But then when you look back after years and decades of acquiring the knowledge and the wisdom, you're like, oh, now I understand. Maybe I didn't realize at the time, but okay, this makes sense now because you see how far you've come. And that's really exciting to see, like, wow, I've grown so much through following this practice and being devoted to it and learning and being open to learning. And so that's like almost 2 decades that when you started this, Marifer. And so my question to you is like today, like over those years, now today, if I were to ask you, what does yoga mean to you? Like, what does your practice mean to you?
Well, like I think that for in many ways and in different ways too, the practice have changed my life. The other day I was talking to Alex and I was telling him that the yoga practice or any practice that you have as a something that is habitual for you or like a habit is like marriage. No, at the beginning, you're very in love with the practice, and then you don't see things in the way that it is. And then you fall in love and you follow and you just believe everything. And then with the time, you start growing up and maturing and maybe thinking through the things a little bit deeper and understanding and understand that maybe all of the information that you receive or all of the teachings that you receive were not well direct or that they were a little bit confusing or sometimes even not like lies. So it's been like just learning in the process, in the maturity about the yoga practice itself as a relation, like a deep relationship with the practice. So the practice, I feel that is, I have a relationship with this practice that is always for me there. And sometimes I don't want to practice, but I do practice. And then it reminds me every time, no, this is the safe place to be. And it's like a very good meditation for me. So the practice is a very good meditation. And also because I think that the practice is very, you say noble, like noble, like very
Noble, yeah, noble, yeah.
And it doesn't matter from where you approach the practice, it will do good to you in some way or at some point. So it's very, it doesn't matter. Maybe you can go for the wrong reasons. Maybe you want to do it for fitness and then it's going to give you something else, or maybe you're going for something else and also there's going to give you like the physical benefit of the practice. But for me, like I understand yoga as a philosophy, not as a asana practice. Is a way to understand life and understand, for me, take me more to the simpler lifestyle more than a complicated lifestyle. But understanding the principles is that, like in yoga, there is this the 8 limbs of yoga, that there is these 8 steps to get to enlightenment according with the ancient scriptures or books or the philosophy. And one of those parts is the asana practice. And for me, it's amazing that because I never see that the physical part or the physical aspect or the physical aspect of the human, it's so important for the spiritual practice, for the moral practice, for the ethical practice of somebody. So for me, it links so many things. So for me, it's very like, it's just that it's so well found, like the foundation of yoga is so well rooted that for me it makes sense in my life. So it's just this deep relationship that really keep me grounded and take me to a simpler life. So that is what yoga means. I don't know if I take it too too weird, but like that is what it means. It's just a practice to get to a simpler life, more present and more understanding, to align everything in a very practical way, like be good physically, be good emotionally, be good mentally. It's not easy. I'm not saying that I'm in that state all the time, but I try.
For sure. It's a practice. That's why it's a practice.
Practice.
No, I really appreciate your perspective, and I love the metaphor you gave about like marriage. I think that's pretty funny and real. Sometimes you don't want to do it, but it's like it's good for us. And a lot of people maybe have this perspective of yoga just being this thing or activity where you go and you do it. But I really love the way that you explained it and how deep you went with it. It is like a lifestyle, and it's a way of being. I mean, it comes from such deep history in India. And I mean, you've studied this to really deep layers, and the foundation of it, it's like a lot of people don't really know this unless they study it, but it's really can be life-changing. And like you say, you may be going for one thing and then you receive something else, because there is so many benefits to it if you are committed to it, and you have the intention to have an open heart and receive its benefits. And there's probably so many different styles too. I mean, I'm not a yoga teacher, not yet at least, but I know I've heard of Kundalini, and I'm sure with your studies and learning, you've probably learned different styles. So I don't know if you want to share any of these different styles, or maybe share about the style that you teach and what kind of teaching style you have, and why you're passionate about sharing and teaching others.
Yeah, well, the yoga practice, any physical practice, it comes from is hatha yoga. All of
Okay.
them.
Okay.
All of them. Everything that require movement included Kundalini, that they also do kriyas and they do physical movements and the repetitions and all of that. They all belong to the hatha yoga practice. And the hatha comes from the tantric practice. Everything that you sense or feel with your body and that you experience with your physical body come from that part of the ancient knowledge of tantra. Tantra is not what many people think, that is only related sexual things. It's not about that. It's about the joy of being present and enjoy life and experience life through your senses with joy and with content.
Okay.
So there was like many ancient teachers of yoga, but not all of them were focused on the physical practice. So there is these teachers that start maybe I don't pronounce the thing well, or maybe I confuse some of the names, but I think that the first one that teach this asana practice, it was Krishnamacharya. And then from there it came students that became, let's say, the first styles. It's not the same, like it's different styles. So it started Patavillois, that is the father of Ashtanga. There's Iyengar, that is the teacher of Iyengar yoga. And there were another students that were also part of, there was Indra Devi, I think that she studied also with Krishnamacharya, I'm not sure. But there were other teachers, but the two more famous ones were these two. Okay. That it was Patavillois and Iyengar. And from there, many roots came. That was the root, and many other styles came. Like from Ashtanga, the Vinyasa flow, and all of these type of styles that Vinyasa means to carry something in a specific way. So it's a sequence of movements that is a Vinyasa. And then Iyengar were more for the alignment, like the health benefits for the organs and all of these things. Then it came other styles like hot yoga and other styles. There is a Kundalini, but I think that there is different roots of Kundalini yoga. The most famous one, it came from Yogi Bayan. I have my thoughts about this guy. I really don't trust much this guy. But he started Kundalini practice and like a family and a lot of things that is been keeping the Kundalini community active and live for many years. That is where many of the styles and many of the practices come from, but from the physical practice. but the philosophy is the same philosophy for everything, for all the yoga practices.
So which one do you enjoy the most, and do you usually teach at the present moment or your studio?
Well, from my first yoga teacher training, Lucia, my first yoga teacher training. Oh,
that's Marifer. That's Tia Marifer. They just came down for a moment. You say hello. You say hola. Can you say hola? No estoy segura. That's Tia. Can you say Tia? That's Tia. Hey, I'm just having a conversation with her mama. Hey, you gonna go back and see Papa? Hey, you can keep going, Marifer.
Okay. Where were we?
The style that you prefer to teach.
Yeah. So my first yoga teacher training was in restorative yoga and critical alignment. It was with a woman named Brigitte Longville. She's from the Netherlands, and she's one of the most important and the best teachers of restorative yoga in Mexico, or that have it's like a yoga center in Mexico that the name is Solstice Yoga Center. And I studied with her back in 2013. And that is more aligned to the Iyengar side of the practice, more anatomical, more about how the body works, biomechanics and anatomy and all of these things. And then I studied since 2015 for around 8 years, more or less, with two teachers that they were teaching in Mexico. It's like method of Hatha Yoga that the name is Shadow Yoga. And I studied with them I studied two, they have a program, and I studied the program twice because I wanted to learn and practice more, and because it was different every time. Not different, but yes, it have some stuff. It was a very deep method. The name is Shadow Yoga. That is a method of Hatha Yoga, but it's include another things and movements like Kalari. There are martial arts from India and other stuff. And in that program, each of my teachers have a specialty in other fields, and I get learn from them. From Scott Blossom, he's a very renowned doctor in Ayurveda that he's in Santa Barbara, and I learned a lot of Ayurveda from him. And from Matt, is the one that I have my closest relationship with until now. He is like a teacher of Qigong and also an acupuncturist, and he's also in Santa Barbara. They two are best friends. They two are surfers, and so I feel very related with them. But with Matt, I have like a closer like connection. I think that because our body types are more similar, and I think that I could do the practice more in the way of Matt was teaching more than how Scott was teaching the practice. But I get from both like very deep and profound knowledge, and I cannot teach. I didn't do all of the thousands of years that you need to do to teach shadow yoga. So what I do is that I just grab from my teachers and mix things from the things that I have learned over the time, from the restorative practice, from the Qigong practice, from the shadow yoga practice, from my first teacher, that is Lourdes Basish, I have her in my heart. She's like another mom for me, but from the yoga world. And I also bring what she teach me to the practice. So it's just a mix of all of my teachers, and I try to honor all of my teachers when I share the practice.
Yeah, I really love that. And I love how you kind of take all that you've learned and all the different practices and methods and kind of create your own. And it's really beautiful. Like you can really tell that you have a passion for learning and really going deep into this, area of life and this practice. And personally never even heard of shadow yoga. I didn't realize like how many different routes there are. I find it really interesting, and that they even like include all these different, you know, like areas of even like Ayurveda and Qigong or like acupuncture and these things. Like to me, it's just so interesting. And what I love about it is, like you said, thousands of years for learning shadow yoga. Like you can learn a lifetime and still probably not know all that there is because it's like infinite, all the
Yeah.
wisdom and years and, you know, millennia that like these practices are founded on. What do you love most about sharing this passion with your students, Marifer?
Well, I was not, when I started studying yoga, it was not to teach. Like I didn't look for a yoga teacher training to become a teacher. It was not like that.
Okay.
I had a friend, Antonia, that you know her. We
Mm-hmm.
wanted to get deep into yoga, and we looked for the first yoga teacher training that we found.
Uh-huh.
But we didn't look for yoga teacher training because that is the translation in English. We were looking for a certificate in yoga to go deep into study yoga. We didn't knew that it will be restorative. So we started studying, doing that. And then before I started studying, or right in the moment when I started studying shadow yoga, I was practicing acro yoga. My teacher of acro yoga, he needed someone that teach gentle yoga or easy yoga for beginners.
Okay.
And say, I trade you. So if you teach, I exchange for classes.
Okay.
So I started teaching to get free yoga class. That is, but I was
Smart.
not pursuing to have like a career or anything like that. It was just I just wanted to go deep into yoga because I was with everything in there practicing regularly, and from there and then I with my work, when my first yoga teacher training connect me with what it was, or it is, my boss now of the Mexican Institute of Yoga. So
Mm-hmm.
when I entered my teacher training, I started working for the organization, the Instituto Mexicano de Yoga. And because of that, I met Matt and Scott, and I started studying with them, and it everything connect. But I was not looking to teach. But then it became a way of living, a way of like, I am a Gemini as you,
Mm-hmm. Good
and
memory.
share. We like to
Uh,
share. Like Gemini like to share and
mm-hmm.
communicate somehow. We
Mm-hmm.
have to do it in our terms or in our ways, but we have to share.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
something that is important for, at least I believe, the all Geminis. So I think that for me it was very natural because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not shy when I'm on a class. So it was very natural for me to share. And my first students were elder women from maybe 50 plus.
Okay.
And I'm very happy and glad that I started with those students because they don't have ego when they come to
Mm,
this. They
mm,
practice because they have to practice to live better.
mm.
So that really make me find more purpose in sharing, because I remember one time they were so sweet, because when you go to teach people that is young, I want that you teach me how to do handstands or headstands or stuff like that that are physically challenging.
Yeah.
And I remember these women that I start with one and I end up with like 20 women that they get together
Wow.
in like 4 or 6 months, that they used to come to the restorative practice. And they were like, you have to come, because if you come, then she will come to teach us. So you have to come. And they encourage each other to practice. And they share the cards of the doctors, like the cardio, all of these things. And I remember that one woman told me one day, it's just that I was able to tie the things of the shoes,
The
the laces,
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 shoelaces. Yeah.
the shoelaces with no problem.
Mm,
And for me, that is more an achievement than someone that does a headstand or a handstand or something like that. So for me, it was like this practice work, and it can help people to live with dignity, live better, be better.
mm-hmm,
So that's what really moved me to keep teaching.
mm,
These women were really the engine that pushed me to keep sharing and doing this thing. And I try to share from that perspective. Is you
mm,
have to find the benefit on the practice, or you're going to drop it.
mm,
And if you drop the practice, then the benefit of yoga will not come. Because I'm
mm,
sorry, but if you go to yoga once a month, you're not going to get the benefit. You
mm.
need to have discipline, you have to show up, you have to practice, and you have to be present when you're practicing. Otherwise, you're just imagine that you have benefit or that you have this practice, but you don't. You have to do it more than once a month, more than once every 3 months. It has to be part of your life.
Yeah. No, totally. You have to let go of the expectation, surrender, and just let it come to you. But you also need to show up and do the work, like you say. So I think it's really cool how it found you and how, the best things in life happen when we're not looking for them. And so it's really cool how all these series of serendipitous events like lined up for you in your life and led you to where you are today and who you're becoming. And it's just so beautiful the way things work out like that. It makes me think of me finding my passion for salsa dancing. Like I did not look for it. In fact, the first time my friend invited me out to a social salsa dance, I didn't even know what that was, and I was open to it. I said, "Sure, let's go see what this is." And that night, when men asked me to dance, I just said yes to everybody. But I stepped on so many feet that night. But to me, it didn't matter. Like I was having fun, and then I was interested in learning this new dance, salsa dancing, and I was so passionate about it. And I believe in life, this is for everything. When we're not looking for something or we're not trying to find something, it will come to us if we just trust. And life works out this way all the time. And it's really like you say, being in the flow and being aligned and just surrendering, because there is a divine plan for all of us. And I think it's really beautiful how I didn't know all these details about you, and I knew you had all this wisdom and passion, but like I feel like I'm learning so much by just talking with you here today, Marifer. And it's really cool that you have this passion and that you're able to share it through teaching your classes and with your students. And I'm sure that they all appreciate you as a teacher as well. So when were you introduced to start working at these events with the Encuentro Nacional de Yoga?
Since I started working for them in 2013, I think that at the end of that year, it was when I went to the first yoga conference it was, I don't know, we are now, this year, I think that it's going to be the 23rd. And at
Oh,
that time,
wow.
the sixth yoga conference that
Okay.
we were in. And then this is going to be the 23rd. Like I've been working like 14 years
Wow.
every year to like organizing, helping in the production and all of those things of this event, and also other events that we do on the same time. Like sometimes you hear like I went to Baja to do these events this last winter, and then the past winter we did that too, and to other states in Cancun, in other places in Mexico, and also like the yoga conference that we do every year.
And is it just for teachers or it's for anybody?
No, it's for everybody. Everybody that they just want to go deep in the practice, that they want to maybe understand which style is for you. Because to be honest, not everybody likes to practice yoga. Sometimes because they went to the wrong class, or they
Mm,
didn't practice with the correct teacher for them.
mm-hmm,
No, sometimes it happened that you go to a very experienced practice or something, and you wanted to meditate and calm, and then it give you the opposite effect.
uh-huh. Yeah.
So you don't feel comfortable, and nobody want to say like I stress at yoga, but many people pass through this, that you just go to the wrong practice, that the one that was not meant for you. So this is a way to explore and to enter in one class and try it. And if you don't like it, the next class you do a different class with a different teacher. And also is that we bring teachers that are globally renowned and that they come
Mm,
to teach. Like many teachers like Shiva Ray or like I lost the name of this guy that came last year, MC Yogi, DJ Tres. There's many teachers, Dharma Mitra, many Mexican yoga teachers that work in prisons and that they have a lot of knowledge. Eddie Stern was the one that he was the teacher of Madonna and Gwyneth Paltrow and all of that. He's such a lovely guy. And he comes to teach with us. Scott Blossom, my teacher, Matt Pesendian. There's many renowned teachers that they are very important for the yoga world or for the Ayurveda or for this, and they come and they get all together along with other Mexican teachers. So it's very interesting, and I don't have the chance to practice with all of them because I can't. I'm in production, so when is the event, I have to be working. But by just entering a little bit to each class, I learned so much, and I have seen so much, the good, also the dark side. So I have seen both sides. So now I can see clearly, like all of these experiences allowed me to see with clarity and with my feet in the ground. So it's very.
I can imagine the amount of, planning and organization that goes into these annual events. And I really appreciate what you said about like, maybe somebody had a bad experience and maybe they had the wrong teacher, went to the wrong class. So perhaps somebody who's listening to this, they might feel inspired to give it another chance because, maybe you need to try a couple different classes to see what works for you and what you like. What was I going to say? So a couple questions. Is it just yoga that they do at these events, just trying the different yoga classes, or do they do anything else in terms of wellness or health and wellness? And what did you mean by the dark side?
Well, there is other stuff, like there's classes about skincare or about nutrition, or
Okay.
there's also like a marketplace where there's different natural products that you can try. There's like not only classes but also talks, and sometimes
Cool.
we bring different meditation classes. We bring a lot of, many times, like twice or three times we have bring monks from
Wow.
Tibet, Buddhist monks to teach meditation and the philosophy of Buddhism also. So
Nice.
it's different. One time, because we experiment with it. We play.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes we have bring also like fitness classes, just because dance classes, like, Bhangra?
No.
No. Look for that Bhangra dance. It's amazing. It's a lot of, it's dance, but it's amazing. Like Bhangra dance is like
Vangra.
that people, I think that was one of the most enjoyable classes for everybody was Bhangra. Because
Interesting.
and with dancing, you also move the body and the energy in a different way, maybe in a less rigid way. So people was super pleased. Breath work, we do a lot of different types of breath work
That's
practices.
amazing.
Yeah, so there's many, we just explore different practices.
If someone's interested in attending one of these events, where can they find more information or sign up?
Well, Encuentro de Yoga is the name of the Instagram of this page of this event that is in Mexico. This year is going to be in summer, in July, or maybe around July. That is going to be this next event. I'm not sure where it's going to be the venue of this year.
Okay.
But normally it's in Mexico City. But it's going to be in Mexico City, but I don't know what is going to be the venue. Anybody can be in and just buy your ticket, and it's 2 days of all of these practices, starting from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. So you can just enjoy and practice and meet people.
Yeah. I'll include the link also in the description of the episode too, so people can
We
just
haven't
click.
started selling the tickets of this year yet, but soon.
Okay,
Like in
cool. Well, that's
February, March, we're
exciting.
going to start selling the tickets for this year.
Oh, that's exciting.
Mhm.
Do you want
And
to share
about
something?
the dark side, and you're saying like
Yeah.
I learned to be disappointed by the practice too. Like, so I know that sometimes we don't like to talk about this part of the practice, but as a relationship, as I mentioned, sometimes there's things that we don't think that will happen and happened in this type of practices. And sometimes I have experience, or I have had very bad experiences with teachers, very renowned teachers, that they preach as light and peace and humbleness. And when they come and they are not with the students, and they are with the people that work to create this space for people, they sometimes are not polite. They sometimes
Mm.
are not humble. They
Mm.
sometimes are rude, very rude. So at the beginning, it was shocking for me to experience, like, because I was so in love with yoga, and everybody that practice yoga is so good and bright and nice and kind and compassionate, and then you face these things. And at the beginning, it was like, how can you go stand up in that stage, lead a class
Mhm.
about this practice and or this philosophy, and then when you are in the backstage, you are with that type of behavior or character that is like, I don't know if you really uh, could be considered a teacher, because it's like you're not really showing how you are really to people. So I have had a lot of disappointment also in the practice, but I have learned how to separate a little bit, like the teachings and the philosophy from the people that teach it sometimes, that they maybe get led by ego or power or other stuff. So that is like the side that we have to learn how to live with this. And also it helps me to have a better to be more cautious when I see a teacher, when somebody is approaching to me and want to share something. I always question. Sometimes I'm the ¿cómo se dice? The devil's advocate,
Yeah,
to
that's how you say it.
question, like, why are you want me to learn this in that way, and understand more or less if it's for profit, for popularity,
Mm.
for other type of reward, and not really for the heart or for the good of the practice. So it's not nice, but it have teach me so much to don't fall for charlatans and teachers that really I really don't care if they are super famous or if they are super renowned. Is like your actions speak louder than your words.
Yeah, I can totally understand why and how you would lose respect for those individuals. And I think what you're saying though is the thing it taught you is how to be discerning for those people and who is truly there, you know, not just for themselves, but for the passion, the love of the practice and sharing it with others and not. So yeah, I think hi Luciana. I
She's
think,
there.
yeah,
Coming.
yeah. Um, no, she's not coming. She's with her papa. But yeah, I think I would love to ask you next, like talk about the spiritual world. You know, you named this episode Unlearning the Spiritual World. So why did you choose this name and what does it mean to you?
Well, like how I was telling you at the beginning, I have to learn to not let myself to just be flashy by these teachings or these learnings. uh, I had to understand that sometimes the lingo or the way that people express in the spiritual world, speaking about yoga practice or meditation or other things, sometimes they are metaphors for us to understand better something that maybe is not going to be like, even with that, maybe we're not going to really understand it because it's so deep and so unique that maybe we cannot understand the things very well. And I think that a mistake that I have when I was looking back is to take everything very more or less literal, and to follow the things and follow the teachings by very, very like strict, and very like trying to see the things with this lens of spirituality. And sometimes it was like, no, it was way more simple than that. Like I was complicating these things so much. And the only thing that they are telling you is be a good person, eat well, sleep, move. Like that is going to give you a fulfilled life. But it's not all of these like practices that are super complicated and things that are encrypted and knowledge that is for just people that do something incredible and spend 10 days without eating food or whatever. Is I don't think, like, I think that sometimes I have misunderstood many of the teachings and many of this information. So I had to pass through the understanding everything wrong, let the time pass, do the practice, and then see, I was in this super in the bad way. So I have to learn all of these things and simplify the practices. And I think that that's what I mean with the thing that I have to learn a lot about this process. Because you learn, you follow, then somebody tells you like you have to do this and every day at 5 a.m. in the morning, otherwise you're not whatever, or you have to do this, and if you don't see this and if you don't feel this, you're not doing it right, or stuff like that. And then with the time I acknowledge that it's not like that, and that the philosophy and these teachings never meant to be like that. And sometimes there were people that they were just trying to teach you in a specific way, to create maybe discipline or to create other stuff. But I have to unlearn many of the things that at the beginning, I believed about the practice, things that like I really was very naive or sometimes even ignorant. And then I take them as truth when they were not truth, when they were just metaphors or a way to explain things. So I'm just trying to be more cautious now after many years, to just don't take everything on stone, and just to adjust everything that it feels good for me, and that it feels good for the people that is around me too, because otherwise there's no point.
Is that a Mexican expression to say to take everything on stone?
Sí, sí, no estás todo sobre piedra.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
when it was Moises that bring
Yeah,
the laws of God on a stone,
okay. Yeah,
and it's like you don't move anything. Like it's like
okay,
that. So it's
okay.
like that. We say that whenever it's not written on stone.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. In English, I think we would say like we don't take everything to heart, you know? And I think it's such a captivating title for an episode. Like when people see that, they're going to think, unlearning the spiritual world. What does she mean by that? Oh, I'm going to have to watch the episode. And, you know, it's interesting what you say, because like, you know, over these years, all of us, we build these beliefs and ideas, uh, you know, about our lives and these ways of living and being, and things that people tell us maybe from when we were really young, but we don't remember, but it's in our head. And so we think it's true. And I think it's really cool how you started questioning these things in your lives and these things that you're believing. And I think the most important thing is to ask, well, is this really true? Or is it just true? Or I think it's true because somebody told me it is. You know,
or sometimes we want to believe that it's true.
yeah, or we want to, but maybe the reality is different. And you know, I think it really depends how you feel. Like to know if something is true for you, it really depends how it makes you feel. And something that might be true for you may not be true for somebody else, right? Like perspective is everything. But there is a universal truth, of course, but that is something else. But you know, it's really interesting how you talk about unlearning. And I think we would all do good to do a little bit of unlearning in our lives. And it's the same thing that what we're doing, you know, the way that Nathaniel and I intend to raise our child and future children, people always ask us, is she going to go to school? And we say, no, we are going to unschool her. And so the way that we see ourselves raising her is not by going to an institution where, there's all these conformities happening, but really by her learning, by living life with us, And so homeschooling doesn't mean that we're at home and I'm the teacher and Nathaniel's the teacher some days. It's really just us living life and including her in everything that we do so that she can naturally learn, because these children, they already are so intuitive and know so much. And I feel sad because there's some, institutions or schools that they take that away from the children, and they take their dreams away and say, you can't be this like when you grow up, or this is the way things are in this society, this is how things work, and in order for you to live here, you need to act and be a certain way. And so we change who we are and we change our passions and we try to be a certain way to fit in, but then it's not true and in alignment with who we really are. And so I love how you bring it back, Marifer, to simplicity. It's interesting because this brought me into my next question. And I think it's really interesting that you also feel that it's simpler than we make it. We complicate things, we our minds and our egos, they do that a lot. And so for you, like, from your perspective, if somebody really, if they feel overwhelmed with their lives or with their practices or just making choices, how can they make things more simpler? Like, what is maybe a teaching you could give them or an advice that they can just make their everyday life a little bit more simple?
I think that well, I don't know if there is a simple answer for that question.
Well, so
But
for you, what makes your life simple?
well, I think that there is so many, like, we live in a modern life that we cannot like take us away from what the space where we live. We are exposed to so many different opinions, and in this world where everything is so polarized, and there's like, I think this way or this way, and there is middle ground and all of these things.
Yeah.
And it creates a lot of tension and stress because you never know if you're doing the things right, because you hear one thing and then the next day you hear something that is completely opposite. I think that the only way that you can simplify is just to, how does like it make you feel good?
Yeah.
Like after, I think that like reduced to that simple thing is like I say before that, but it's just the only way that I can think that is simplify something. Like if you are seeing something that is leading you to feel bad, why you're still doing it? Like, don't do it. Like, it's just stop. Or even if
just
the best
stop.
advice, just stop. Like, just you don't have to do it. It's just that it's very simple. But sometimes we don't listen to ourselves. Like,
Yeah.
maybe I have a long relationship with a friend or with someone, and you want to keep that connection because you think that it's doing you good, and every time that you meet with that person you end up feeling terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So don't go, like, don't nourish that relationship. It doesn't make you feel good. If I'm eating something that, I don't know, somebody told me that is super healthy, peppers, for me, peppers are very healthy. They have a lot of vitamin C, but they are terrible for my stomach. Am I going to keep eating them? No, like it doesn't do me good. No, it doesn't. Like, it's not for me. It's just that not everything is for everybody, and we don't have to bring that judgment to us that somebody else is doing it. That doesn't mean that you have to do it. Or stuff that are like is I don't know, it's simple like that. It's just to take a moment of reflection and feel like this do me good, or maybe something that is super unhealthy end up doing super good to your heart. Do it. It's fine. Like a little chocolate or a little treat for yourself. But if that make you feel way more light and way better, and there is no judgment, well, you do that. Like, or it doesn't have to be always like from this side of what is right, what is wrong. I think that
one extreme to the other.
I think that, like, I don't know, in my experience, that comes from the Catholic school, the right, the wrong, the guilt.
The guilt, the Catholic guilt. It's
The
real.
guilt
It's a
of
real
doing
thing.
things. Yeah, like a lot of guilt of everything. of thinking something, but sometimes it's just let that thought to unwind, and maybe you will discover that is leading you to another place, and you're having this thought for another reason, and you don't have to feel bad about it. You just have that thought and you just let it be, and then you just
let it go.
let it go.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the right answer of this question, but it's just
the perfect answer. It's the perfect answer. And what you said was key, I think, was like without judgment. I think that's the biggest thing is stop judging everything you're doing and know that you are the conscious creator of your life, of your reality. We all are. We all have that responsibility. We are not victims. But, you know, if we see something we don't like in our world, or we see something that's too complicated and we want to make it simpler, realizing that we have the power to change it is the step number one. And then I think also the biggest reason why a lot of people they don't live simple lives like we used to in you know in history is like because we are not as connected to ourselves. A lot of us are living a world of distraction, addiction, outside of our bodies, outside of our hearts. And so this is the reason why maybe we are not making as conscious choices and simple choices for our life. You know, because we don't need a lot to be happy. We do
Oh,
not.
like you don't need to do all of the practices that you see on Instagram and on Facebook and all of this perfection. It doesn't exist. Come on, it's not true. Like
Mhm.
just think of your grandmother or your grandfather when they don't have any of this comparison and people telling them what to do and what they have to do to be better and to be healthy. What they do, they just live.
Totally, totally.
Take care of their family, they cooked, they play, they have
Yeah.
time to do other stuff, whatever, but they like because they didn't have that constant comparison with life and like to telling you you have to do breath work in the morning and you have to do 100 sun salutations and then you after have to drink hot water with lemon and then you have to feed your family and be on time and do all of these things for your
Too
it's
much.
too much.
Yeah. Yeah. And
It's live.
I, I believe this is also a reason why my brother was, you know, like inspired to come back to Mexico and you know to live the life you guys are living is because it is a simple lifestyle compared to what we are used to and what we grew up with in North America, you know. It's totally different. And so I would love if you could share a little bit more. You guys live in a small surf town, Troncones, on the Pacific coast, which I don't know if a lot of people know about, but it's surrounded by nature and a beautiful community, beach town. You know, Nathaniel and I had the pleasure of living there, and I'm sure that, you know, we came back to Canada still thinking about the roosters that were cock-a-doodle doing at 4 o'clock in the morning. I could not get out of our heads. But I would love if you could share a little bit about the community there and why it's such a special town and how this environment like supports your lifestyle and the simplicity of it.
Well, I arrived to this town also by mistake. I never planned anything.
Nothing is by mistake.
Nothing. Well, but it was not planned. Like my idea was they invite me here to teach in present moment. That is one of the yoga retreat centers that are here. There's now way more, but at that time it was the only yoga place that were here. So they invite me for 2 weeks to cover classes of someone. And I end up staying for 4 months, and then those 4 months becoming 8 years now.
Wow.
I started surfing here. Like I learned to surf here in the beaches that are close to here.
You didn't surf before you moved there?
I was surfing before, but like sometimes I used like what people do when you don't live on the beach. You go 1 month, you
Yeah.
practice, you go home, and then you come back 3 weeks and
Okay. Not the same.
so I was surfing, but I was not living in the ocean. But I always feel the call to be close to the ocean. That is, every time that I leave, I was thinking when I'm going to come back. So I was like, I'm going to simplify that. So just be there, just be there. So I decide to come to do this. I reject that twice. They invite me twice, and I say, no, I don't want to go there. It's a town with old people. There's nothing there. I don't want to go.
And for people who don't know, Guadalajara is the second biggest city in Mexico after Mexico City. So that's quite a big transition from a big city to a small surf town like Troncones.
Yeah, I love the lifestyle, but at that time, like I was not sure if I wanted to be like with a lot of retired people.
Yeah.
Then when I arrive here and I feel so good, like because I think that I have an old lady that lives inside of me. So and so it was very peaceful, like to don't see anybody, like just I love to hang out with elder people because they don't care. Like they are funny, they just live life, they just enjoy. They don't have all of these things that you're thinking of what is going to happen with my life or what is going to take me, and all they don't have any of that. They just live. So I love that from hang out with older people. So I fell into my place. So I found this apartment where I live, and I've been living since I arrived to Troncones. And it was challenging because, especially when COVID hits, I feel lonely. Not in a bad way. It was weird. It was not in a bad way because I feel safe and I feel free because we were not in a quarantine. I could go to the beach, walk on the beach,
Yeah. Thank
not
God.
in a natural environment with no pollution and no fear. But at the same time, I was thinking, if I die and nobody's around me, my cat is going to eat me. It was just this thing of like, nobody is going to know what is happening to me. So it was to face loneliness and to mature into say, it really doesn't matter because I really feel good here.
Hmm.
So it started with an intrusive thought of like, if I'm dying, this is going like nobody's going to find me. And then it's like,
Is it
chill.
true?
And that is not the thing. Like, would you be willing to go back to the city and live in that life? Or like you prefer to be in this moment in that place, really? And the answer was no.
No.
So it was like, I feel here more at home than how I feel at home. So it was very important for me. Just, it's not that every day I go to the beach, or it's not that you're all day with a piña colada in your hand and watch the
It's not
sunset.
vacation. Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah.
But
You're
at
living.
least it gave me like a sense of calm, just to know that the ocean is there and I can hear
Yeah.
the waves from the distance, and I can hear the roosters and I can hear the birds, and I can see green every day, and I teach in
Mm.
front of the ocean in this platform that is
The
in front of.
beautiful retreat, present moment.
So it's very like I cannot ask for anything else. There's challenges, and no town is perfect and nothing is perfect, and there is many things that we don't have, but I don't need them. So
Mm.
you learn to live with less and to enjoy what you have and to live with what you have and to figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, I love all of that. And I feel like it's inspiring to hear, because if there's people out there who are thinking like, oh, I wish I could do that and it sounds like a dream. It's like you can make it happen. If you hold a vision of wanting to move to a warmer country, or maybe you take a small step and you move outside of your town in your country, but to a different place. Like a lot of people, they have the desire to change their life, but they don't want to change because it's uncomfortable and it's scary and they don't know what that's going to look like. But it takes courage and it takes trusting the unknown, because you can't have all the answers before you figure it out. Like I'm sure when you moved to Troncones 8 years ago, you didn't know what that was going to look like, but you trusted. It's the same when I moved to Italy back in 2016. I had no idea, where I was going to live, where I was going to work. I was living on top of a pizzeria that just was a bedroom and a toilet for like a month. And I just trusted that that would lead to the next thing and you would meet the right people. Everything in life works out. If you believe it will, but you need to believe, and you also need to kind of have a plan and take action. And so that's inspiring what you share. I was gonna say something else. Did you want to add to that?
Well, also the thing is that you have to be open to listen when the opportunities show up for you.
Hmm.
Because as like me, I didn't have the plan to come and live here. but I listen to the opportunities and I take them. And by taking them, also you have to work through, and it's not everything super easy. There's challenges to adapt yourself to another place and another thinking and all of these things, but it's just to, well, leave the discomfort a little bit. That is life too. Also, is a little bit of discomfort, and it's part of growing to just pass through it and to adapt. So it's also part of like listen, like if sometimes the opportunities are in front of you and you, because you don't have certainty, you let them go. And then sometimes it's like this thing that happened with me in present moment. They call me and they ask me if I wanted to cover the classes. And I say, no, because I don't want to be in this town where there is like 3 old people and me. No. And then one day, like I was about to move to Baja California, and one day I wake up and I say, like, you're stupid. Like, they are offering you yoga classes, paid, a place to live in front of the ocean where you go to surf and you love to surf there. Why are you saying no? And I call him and I say, okay, Kit, just tell me if there is good internet because I need to work. And he say, yes, we have good internet. You can stay in our home, la, 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 la. And I say, okay, I'm going. And I lose my flight to Baja California and I came here and I never left. But I take that moment to be like, why are you resisting so much? They offer you a couple of times and you say no. Why? Like what could happen? Like, what do you have to lose? Like, it's just to be a little bit adventurous with the decisions, and who knows? And it really, I think I'm very lucky because it led me to a very good place and I'm very happy here. And maybe other people have had different experiences, but it's just there is something inside that tells you this is the right move.
Yeah.
Even when it sounds crazy, it was like, this is the right move. So it's just to listen.
Always. And trusting the opportunities are always coming to us. It's whether we listen or not, and whether we're open to taking that leap, because it is a leap, trusting the uncertainty, not always knowing how things are going to work out, but just trusting that they will. And I love how you speak about there's no perfect situation. There's no perfect country or home or place, wherever we go. And if we're trying to escape our problems, they will always come with us. So I believe the true home is inside of us. And if you bring that state of peace and calm, you can go anywhere in the world and you will bring that with you. And when you were talking about not having a plan and just things working out, it reminded me of the first backpacking trip I ever took with my partner at the time to Southeast Asia. My brothers, I think both of them, Alex and Stefano, had both already done this trip, this backpacking trip, and I had no idea how to prepare. My partner and I, we were living in Italy, and on a whim, we just bought these one-way tickets to Thailand, and we said we'll just go with the flow. I don't know how long we're gonna stay. I don't know where we're gonna end up, and I didn't know how to plan or how to prepare or what to pack, and I called my brother Alex. This is back in 2018. And I'm like, Alex, how do I plan for this trip? Like, I was a planner. My brother is quite different. He's very chill, go with the flow. And I've learned that too over the years. But I remember exactly what Alex told me. How to prepare for this trip. He said, Julia, the best plan is no plan. And he's like, you don't need to plan. He's like, just go day by day and see where each day takes you. And it was so beautiful and freeing to live in that way. And also seeing in those countries, like those southern, Eastern Asian countries, like how little they had, but yet how happy they were. And I went with a backpack full of things. And honestly, Marifer, I could have done with half of that. Like, it made me realize how little we need to live and to be happy. And yeah, it's really interesting how these experiences give us new perspective and make us grow in different ways. And looking back, I also see through my own travels and journeys and living in different places how much I've grown. And now becoming a mother, how I have a new chapter of my life, how much I'm growing through this. So it's really beautiful, the life experiences that we all go through. And before we end today, I would love to ask if you want to share any new projects that you're working on, or any future community projects. Maybe you want to share about the home you're building with my brother.
Well, right now I think that I'm slowing down. Instead of doing more, I'm doing less. I think that is also, that is the wisdom of the time and the years. I end up this last winter with a lot of burnout, and I was very, very tired of my work and the things that I was doing. And because I work also, I'm a graphic designer, and I used to work a lot for social media and contents and all of those things. And honestly, I was not feeling right. I was not feeling well. I was feeling unhealthy and I was feeling unhappy. So I step back and I speak with my boss. And I think that one of the most beautiful qualities of someone is to be honest. And I speak with her and I tell her, like, this is not doing me good. I feel sick. I don't feel emotionally stable and I feel very tired. So I need to do less. And I'm stepping a little bit away from social media and content creation because it's very overwhelming, and it was not doing good for me, the higher expectations and to be always fighting against the algorithms and all of these things. So I was a little bit burnout about all of these things. So I'm trying to simplify my work in my professional life. I discovered that to go teach, come back and relax is the best thing, the best plan ever. Like, just to don't be so worried about many things. It's like, it's not natural for me to do many things at the same time, to have different projects at the same time and do many things, but I'm trying to simplify as much as I can to keep myself healthy and grounded and more balanced.
Good for you.
And also because, like, we are passing through a process of construction, and it can be stressful. So I need time for just relax a little bit and slow down a little bit. And I also, because I always do a lot, I started a new project around here that is very cool. Maybe you can check it out, or anybody that is curious about Troncones. I'm working on a project that the name is La Onda Troncones, and that is a local magazine that is about Troncones only. And there's this super amazing writer. His name is Benito, and his wife Aura. He's a writer from New York, and he lives here. So he started writing stories about the people of the community.
Wow.
So it's any stories about them, and I'm working with them in this project of La Onda Troncones. So if anybody wants to know anything about Troncones, how is the lifestyle, how is to be here, how is the community, what are the things that are to offer or to do around here, it's a perfect guide for those things.
Where can people find that?
It's laondatroncones.com.
Okay, I'll add it to the link descriptions.
And it's amazing. Like, I really love that project because it's more community oriented, and it's about community and creating connections, and also for people that is living here to just live a little bit their bubble. Sometimes people move to Mexico and they still live in their foreigner bubble here, and they get the chance to get to know people, try new food, live other stuff. So this is a way to let people know all of the things that people have to offer, and incredible stories that are very cool. And I love to work with this project. Like right now, I'm working with that project. And when I'm here, I'm just simplifying by teaching yoga, doing tarot readings, in present moment when I have the chance to, when somebody asks me for tarot readings, work a little bit on the computer, but not with the highest expectations of getting to the masses. And that's it.
That's great. Good for you for listening to your body and your intuition and slowing down. And yeah, what do you love? And that project is really cool too that you're working on. I can see how it lights you up and it makes you feel good. And so that's nice. I always saw you as a community builder and contributor, and I really saw you shine in that light when we were living there too, and how you're just so well known and well loved in your little community there in Troncones. What do you appreciate most about your community there, Marifer?
Well, I think that there is it's a like to live in a place where you can see everybody to the eyes, and they know you and call you by your name, and they really know you. Like it's not like a community, it's very small, but I think
It's still a
that
community.
yeah, it's a community, like everybody do their own thing, and we are all different because we are a very eclectic community, I have to say. uh, from very like a life that is more like simple and original from here, to many people that come from Mexico City and Morelia and Querétaro, and people from the United States, from Europe, from Canada,
Yeah.
from many places, and we all coexist in this place. And somehow it's a very respectful community, in comparison with other communities that are around here. This is very quiet. It's not super active or social or stuff like that, but there is respect. Like everybody respect everybody, and everybody have a place in this town, and everybody contribute and listen. And I think that it's important that especially everybody respect each other, and we can coexist with all of our differences. I think that it's important to live in these places where maybe your beliefs are contrast, and you have the tolerance to live with different lifestyles and beliefs. I think that is important for everybody to enrich yourself by coexisting in all of this universe at the same time.
Yeah. Can you share some of the community events that you come together and have? Like
Well,
the Temazcal or
there is well, I have a practice here that I go there also, like as yoga, as you know, like I go and I go. So during COVID, I started going with this family that they do temazcales. Temazcal is a sweat lodge that it's an ancient Mexican tradition, is strong.
very
It
strong.
You need to be ready for that. It's with drums and tea. There is with
Essential
medicine,
oil
like
or the herbs.
essential oils and herbs, and it's to face discomfort. Basically, it's not nice. It's not like to go to a sauna. You can end up facing your devils inside of the temazcal is supposed to represent the womb of the mother.
Mhm.
And there's a navel where the rocks goes. It's like the connection with the earth, like the umbilical cord that connect you with the earth, and then the volcanic rocks that come from the tip, from the volcanoes, are the
And
rocks that heat up the thing. And then is the tea, the medicine that they pour on the rocks, the volcanic rocks that are in the navel of, that is inside. There is like a teepee inside. There is like a hole where you put the rocks, and then you pour the tea. It's closed, and
it's
you
made of
sit.
clay?
In this case, yes, but it can be without.
Oh.
It can be just with branches, and
Ah,
also
okay.
like blankets.
Oh, really?
Hmm. You
Okay.
just have to dig the hole, like in your garden, you can make a temazcal. You just have to point the right directions, because it's according with the directions of the sun and the elements. And then you create the temazcal with specific directions. And there's drums inside, like drums that are like their resemblance to the heart of the mom. When you are in the womb, if you listen, you can hear the drums. Hola, Nathaniel.
Hola.
How
Good
are
to see
you?
you,
Nathaniel
Marifer.
knows that the discomfort of the
You.
Temazcals firsthand.
Oh, I love sweat lodges and temescals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been having
And Nathaniel, when it was here, he was like an avid practitioner of the temazcales every weekend, and the singing and the drums inside of the temazcal.
It's beautiful.
It's uncomfortable, but it's very helpful. It helped me a lot during COVID and during those crazy times. I think that was my medicine during those times here.
Mhm.
And I appreciate that we have this so close at home, and that we can do this.
Yeah. I talked to some elders in the north, and they kept their lodges. Some lodges just shut down But the elders that really knew their medicines, they knew that would be the thing that would protect the people, and they knew that even if someone had a virus like that, it would just get rid of it. And I spoke to some pretty powerful medicine keepers that helped a lot of people through COVID with some very similar ceremony. I was surprised how similar it is compared to up north here with the Anishinaabe. That's the tradition that I was trained in. So yeah, it's such a beautiful ceremony. And I mean, Julia talks about the discomfort, but I feel like it expands your comfort, especially in Mexico where it's so hot. So it allows you to be more attuned to the.
You're not used to it being that hot, eh?
No, I've never been in a
You have
climate
background in sweat lodges too with your indigenous teachings.
Oh, well, I've been in hot sweat lodges, but yeah.
Nothing like Troncones.
Nothing like that. Well, it's part of the thing. Like I've done them every weekend for 2 years, more or less.
Okay, wow.
It was not comfortable many times. Sometimes I leave the temazcal and I really want to run away and be like, and then it comes the reflection of like, why am I feeling uncomfortable? And then it was like this feeling, this energy, this person trigger me something that I don't like, and then I see it as a mirror to work on something from me. Like it's not only the physical sensation, it's deeper than that. And then when you know and you understand that, then you can more things.
How can we have a serious conversation as grown-ups, right?
She knows that we do that with her.
Hey, yeah. Peekaboo. Me having fun. Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna let you folks wrap up the show, and
we're pretty much done. I think. Is there last thing you wanted to share, Marifer?
I think that's it. If anybody have any question, like my yoga practice or the yoga studio is Bhavana, as you know, and then there's the tarot readings. I also do them online. I do sometimes workshops with art and tarot. That is also super fun. And yeah, that's it. So
perfect. Well, sorry, go ahead.
If anybody have any question about this stuff, well, I'm happy to connect.
Yes. I'm very happy to also put all of those links, those contacts and connections that they can reach you in the description, so people can just click directly, and maybe I'll get the Encuentro link from you, and also the other project that you're working on in Troncones, a community project with the writer. Yeah, this has been a lovely conversation. Thank you so much for bringing all your wisdom and your stories and your heart and passion and love for yoga and the practices you share. I'm sure that anyone listening will receive some sort of inspiration or spark, maybe to make some sort of change in their life, and maybe realize it's not so complicated to go back to simple living like our ancestors did.
Yeah, just remember that you have to edit many things that you have learned in life and simplify them.
You shared a quote. One last thing is you shared a quote in your application, well, your guest form, that I think you said your grandma. Thanks, Nana. Your grandmother used to say. Do you remember it? Do you want to share that as a closing?
Yeah, well, my grandmother was, I think, one of the most funniest, charismatic, like person ever in the world, and she have a big heart always. She get in trouble for this big heart a lot with my grandpa, and she can stop on the street to help anybody that need it. Like if she see a mom with a baby that don't have the right clothing, my grandmother used to stop, take her home, and go buy her clothes for the baby. And she was like that. She was always like that. Or people asking for money on the street, and everybody is like, no, this is a drug. In Mexico, there's a lot of this, that some people come and ask you for money, and she always give to everybody. And sometimes people is like, no, because this people is going to take it to the drug dealers and blah, blah, blah. And my grandmother like, that is not that is not for you, like that it doesn't matter for you. What it matters is to help. So you always help to everybody. So she always say, ayuda siempre sin mirar a quién, is like always help no matter who is asking for help. So I think that that is important, and that also it's in me, and that's why I share everything that I share. And so
Yeah.
I think that it's important that we always try to help everybody.
Siempre. I love that she sounded like an awesome role model for you, and I think that's a
Great.
beautiful way to end the conversation. So thank
Yeah.
you for sharing and all the good that you're doing in the world and all the people that you're helping with the work that you do and the person that you are.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, gracias a ti. I'm gonna invite Luciana, a video of Luciana to say goodbye and to end the episode. So I'll just do that and I'll see you on the other side.
Okay.
Okay, mucho amor.
Besos. Bye bye.
Thanks for watching. You say ciao ciao.
Bye.
I love you so much.